Welcome to another Tracking Trends Thursday with Kristen Mason Coreas, owner of Homes by Mason. Today is Thursday, September 11th. Condolences to anyone who was impacted by September 11th. And it's hard to move on from. And obviously it's also a lot going on these days. So hope giving everybody strength and hopefully some level of peace these days with all of the things going on in our world. So with that, let's talk about what's happening in real estate. So interest rates have come down. That's the good news in regards to real estate. They dropped 15 basis points. That's a lot. It's the largest weekly drop in the past year. 6.35% is the average for a fixed 30-year mortgage. And that's good news for buyers, which is good news for sellers as well. More buyer activity. You can see how low we are. This is as low as we've been in a really long time. Now, the Fed meets next Tuesday and Wednesday, the 16th and the 17th. We'll see what the Fed does with their interest rate. What they do is impacted by what's happening in the economy. This information here is the same data, same information that we had from last week, so I've got nothing new to share here. But what this does indicate is all industry experts do expect the Fed to drop their interest rate, mostly related to the job market, is showing signs of weakening. And so that will influence the Fed to drop their rate. And then we might see lower interest rates with mortgages, but we might not, because the drop that we've seen already may be a reflection of the expectation and the strong strong belief that that's going to happen next week. So we may not see mortgage interest rates come down any further. We'll find out next Thursday. So what's happening in the Mid-Atlantic region? New listings are increasing, new contracts are healthier, and inventory is also rising. So this is more of what we've been seeing. New contracts being up is probably a result of lots of inventory. There's more inventory, so therefore there's more contracts. And so again, these are the trends that we've been seeing. More listings, more inventory, and more contracts all correlate to each other. In the larger DC metro area, the year-over-year and the week-over-week comparison I like to look at. So showings are up both year-over-year and a lot week-over-week. And that week-over-week jump is probably because the prior week had Labor Day in it. So that big jump is as a result of the prior week being a holiday week. But what's interesting, though, is contracts went down week-over-week. So fewer contracts this week compared to last week by 8%. Year-over-year, more contracts in the larger DC metro area by 4.6%. Time to contract continues to go up, a median of 37 days. Really long time in my world to see 37 days on the market. So myself and my sellers need to adjust to that expectation that things are not necessarily going to fly off the shelves like they used to. That's longer by 6 days than last year, longer than by 5 days from the week before. New listings are up both year over year and week over week. Again, that big number week over week, 28.5%, is because the prior week was a holiday. Median list price is also up. So price is up year over year by 4% and week over week by 2.7%. So we're still seeing listing prices relatively strong anyway. Now, sold prices we do want to take a look at to see how that relates to listing prices. I don't have that data, so I'll try to bring that to you next time. Active listings are up a lot, 35.8% from last year and up 7.6% from last week. So increasing inventory. I might get cut off here. So let me quickly go through the hyperlocal market. This is our weekly data. You can see that we had more listings and more contracts compared to the last week, slightly more than average. Again, we're comparing a non-holiday week to a holiday week, so that makes sense. Increase in supply and increase in contracts. Last week it was down because of the holiday. Compared to last year, we are also up in supply and up in contracts compared to last year, but less than the week before. Now, this blue bar is the demand to supply ratio. What I have over here, I want to bring to your attention, that is coming down 65% and 70% compared to last year. So we're seeing a downward